Every year, millions of people work harder than ever, yet feel poorer than before. They budget carefully, save what they can, and follow every piece of advice they've ever been given. But their financial lives barely move forward. It's not always about how much they earn or even how much they spend. It's about how they think about money and the invisible mental system that keeps most people trapped in the same cycle for life. A system psychologists call the two-account problem. In this episode, we'll explore the hidden psychology of money, how two mental accounts quietly shape the way you earn, spend, and save. We'll look at why these invisible habits form, how they keep most people poor no matter how high their income climbs, and what the wealthy and financially free do differently to break the loop. By the end, you'll see that getting rich isn't just about discipline or luck. It's about rewiring the mind's financial architecture itself. Chapter 1. The Hidden Architecture of the Mind. Every decision we make about money, from buying coffee to investing in a home, passes through a silent, emotional filter. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Richard Thaler, both Nobel Prize winners in economics, discovered that humans don't treat all money equally. We place it into mental accounts. Think of it like folders in your brain. One for salary, one for savings, one for unexpected windfalls. Each account comes with its own set of emotions and rules. For example, a $100 gift feels free, but a $100 deduction from your paycheck feels painful, even though both are worth the same. This is called mental accounting, and it explains why rational people make irrational financial choices every day. Chapter 2. The two accounts everyone has. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Behavioral economists have found that most people unconsciously divide their financial life into just two main accounts. 1. The survival account, used for needs: bills, rent, groceries, debt. 2. The lifestyle account, used for wants: experiences, gadgets, social validation, comfort. The problem is, for most people, both accounts are consumption-based. Neither of them builds long-term wealth. The survival account keeps you working just to stay afloat. The lifestyle account rewards you for surviving, with short bursts of dopamine that vanish as quickly as the money does. The result? A cycle of effort and relief. Earn, spend, repeat. And this cycle can quietly consume an entire lifetime. Chapter 3. How the Rich Think Differently. Now, let's compare this to how the wealthy think. Wealthy individuals, whether they're entrepreneurs, investors, or simply disciplined savers, also use two mental accounts, but theirs are structured very differently. 1. The asset account, where money goes to grow. 2. The cash flow account, where money goes to live. The key difference? Their survival is funded by cash flow from assets, not from labor. When Warren Buffett buys a company, he doesn't think, "Can I afford this?" He thinks, "Will this generate income while I sleep?" This is the architectural difference between being rich and staying poor. Poor people earn and spend. The wealthy own and allocate. Chapter 4. The Psychology of Instant versus Delayed Reward. But why is it so hard to shift from consumption to investment? Because our brains are ancient machines, wired for survival, not compounding returns. Neuroscience studies from Stanford and MIT have shown that immediate rewards activate the striatum, the same region linked to food, love, and addiction. Long-term rewards, like investing or saving, trigger the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain that's harder to engage under stress or uncertainty. That's why financial education alone rarely changes behavior. The system isn't broken, the wiring is. The wealthy learn to override those instincts. They find satisfaction not in spending money, but in seeing it grow. That mindset shift is everything. Chapter 5. How the two-account problem traps the middle class. Now, let's connect the dots. For the working and middle class, financial pressure constantly pulls money from the survival account into the lifestyle account. Think about it. You get a raise, But your rent, your car, your entertainment, spending all quietly rise too. That's the lifestyle creep phenomenon, and it's the biggest symptom of the two-account problem. In 2022, a report by Lending Club found that 63% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck, including nearly half of those earning over $100,000 a year. That's not poverty. That's psychology. The more you earn, the more your lifestyle account expands, until even high income feels insufficient. And without an asset account, there's no escape velocity. You're trapped in orbit, around your own expenses. Chapter 6. Breaking the Cycle. The third account. Here's where it gets interesting. Behavioral finance experts suggest adding a third account, a mental or actual account that sits between survival and lifestyle, the freedom account. This is where wealth is built. Every dollar that enters this account has one purpose: to buy back your time. It could go into stocks, index funds, real estate, or even a small business. It doesn't matter how big it is, only that it exists. Over time, your freedom account becomes a silent employee, working 24 hours a day. And one day, it grows large enough to pay your bills, meaning your survival account no longer depends on labor. That's the crossover point between financial stress and financial independence. It's not about earning more. It's about rerouting your money's flow. Chapter 7. The Emotional Reprogramming. But breaking this habit isn't easy. It requires emotional reprogramming, not just financial strategy. One powerful method comes from cognitive behavioral therapy. Attach emotion to growth, not consumption. Instead of rewarding yourself for spending, reward yourself for investing. Every time you save or invest, visualize what that money is buying you back: peace of mind, time, and future freedom. When your brain starts associating satisfaction with growth, not spending, you've effectively hacked the two-account problem from the inside out. This is why the wealthiest people often appear frugal. It's not that they fear spending, it's that they've learned to derive joy from control, not consumption. Chapter 8. The Cultural Trap. There's another layer we often overlook: the social one. In today's digital economy, the lifestyle account isn't just emotional, it's performative. Every social platform has turned consumption into a public display. Cars, clothes, vacations, these are no longer just personal rewards. They've become social signals of success. And social media algorithms amplify that pressure, creating what economists now call the comparison economy. In that environment, restraint looks invisible. Only spending looks like winning. But here's the paradox. The people who look the richest online often have the smallest asset accounts in real life. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy stay quiet, because compounding doesn't need applause. Chapter 9. The Simple Framework That Actually Works. So how do you escape the two-account trap in practice? Here's a simple, proven framework used by financial planners and behavioral economists alike. 1. Automate your freedom account. Route a fixed percentage of income directly into investments before it even reaches your spending accounts. 2. Cap your lifestyle account. Define the upper boundary of comfort. Then resist expanding it when your income rises. 3. Shrink your survival account through assets. Use part of your investments to create cash flow that pays essential expenses over time: dividends, rent, business profits. This system mirrors what the wealthy do naturally, but now it's structured for anyone. Because wealth isn't built in giant leaps. It's built through invisible systems that compound quietly, just like debt, but in reverse. In the end, the two-account problem isn't a flaw of intelligence, it's a flaw of design. We were never taught how to build systems that free us from survival-based thinking. True wealth begins not when you earn more, but when your money starts behaving differently, flowing through accounts that reflect your values, not your impulses. As Charlie Munger once said, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. Most people interrupt it every month by spending what could have been freedom. So the next time money enters your account, ask yourself, is this going to survive me or free me? If this episode gave you something to think about, something deeper than just budgeting or saving, then maybe you've already started shifting from consumption to creation. Because understanding how money moves through your mind is the first step to making it move in your favor. If you found this valuable, subscribe for more stories about how money, power, and technology shape the world we live in. This is Cold Insight. Thanks for listening.